Operators are standing by.
Welcome to Chasing Prophecy Radio, where we discuss the unidentified, the unexplainable, paranormal, conspiracies, and much more. Starring your host and co-hosts, Jenny Nicasio, Sean Kelly, Trish Lowe, and Jason Sledgehammer Ryan Petro. Brought to you by UPRN Network. Now for your host, Jenny Nicasio.
Good evening and welcome to Chasing Prophecy on FM 105.3 New Orleans, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. I'm Jenny Nicasio, along with my co-host Sean Kelly and Jason Ian Petro, and Trish Moe will be joining us, I hope. Good evening, boys.
Good evening.
Good evening, Miss Jenny. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. How are you today?
Okay, I guess. How was your Christmas?
It was wonderful, actually. It was a very nice Christmas.
Was it?
Nice. Yes,
What did
it
Santa
was.
Claus bring you?
Yeah.
Oh, he got me a Fitbit. Because I'm, you know me, I'm so fit. Yeah, got a Fitbit. Got some really nice presents. It was a very nice Christmas. I'm very glad everybody was
glad you
there.
had a
No one
nice
was
one.
sick.
Very good.
So, how was yours, Sean?
Not good. Not good at all.
That's so sad.
Yeah. My son came in from Indiana and was on a Sunday. And what happened was he caught COVID. And
Oh.
what's crazy about it is that he has all his shots, and he's very, very clean, but I mean, very, very clean. But he caught COVID and he missed out on my mom's
That's
birthday
a shame.
party, Chris. But here's the sad thing about
What?
this
What happened?
is that before he left, he came over to my mom's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she couldn't touch him.
Oh,
Could not give him a hug. So she
That's
ended up
sad.
touching. Yeah, it is sad. And it's been like the last time he was here was like 2 years ago. And
he hasn't been in for 2 years.
mm-mm.
Oh, that's too bad.
So it was a really messed up one. So
Well, they're saying this new Omicron, the people that are getting it are the vaccinated. They don't know why. It's kind of strange. I don't understand it either. It's kinda
But you
weird.
know what I'm thinking, Jen?
Hmm.
All of a sudden they're canceling college football games and everyone's coming up with this COVID symptoms and getting COVID. I believe they've launched something off in the air that's causing all this crap to happen because of January 6th.
Do you mean?
Up.
What do you mean? You mean like in chemtrails? You mean like airport? What do
I
you
don't
mean?
know how, but it just seems like we're getting close to January 6th. And, when all that crap goes down, that they're getting everybody sick again to keep their focus off of January 6th.
Well, I don't think anything's going to happen.
I don't either, but you know them.
How was your Christmas, Jason?
Oh, it was pretty good. Watching the kiddo run around and, after he went crazy with all his gifts, he had more fun with the wrapping paper and boxes than anything. So we got that on video and, I made sure I videoed the whole thing from the time he woke up and opened all his presents from Santa and stuff. And it was just cool. It was something special to see, and I'm looking forward to next year when he gets a little bit older, maybe understands Santa Claus.
Yeah, he's still a little young.
Yeah.
It's still
Before
fun.
you know it, they're 13 years old.
Oh, God. I'll have to get another job just to feed them.
Yeah, seriously. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on out there, and it's just not COVID. It's just, it's just the weather. Everything is just, it seems like we're in this vortex where we're never going to get out of. It seems like there's one thing after another.
Yeah.
It's the season of gloom and doom now. After New Year's is when the Great Depression hits.
Yeah. I mean,
wintertime blues.
I get like that letdown after Christmas. It takes me so long to get back into them. I overate. I have too much sugar in me. Trying to okay, I'm starting my diet again come New Year's Day, but I'm
Yeah.
starting carnivore. My kids are starting that. I'm going to do carnivore. I'm not going to
What's
have any
that?
It's no carbohydrates at all. No,
So like a keto.
no,
almost.
it's
Atkins.
no, you just don't have any on carbs. You just eat meat, chicken,
Nice.
fish,
I can deal with that.
and you just don't
Yeah.
have any carbohydrates. If you, no salads, nothing.
Oh
So it should
my.
be interesting. Yeah, it's going hardcore. But that's why I got my Fitbit so I can take my steps and whatever. And I do Peloton. So it's fun. But tonight we have a really interesting guest. So she's gonna help us discuss the 2020 predictions. And she's also a best-selling author. She's passionate, page-turning paranormal, which we love. She's 2-time San Diego Book Award winner for Best Published Fantasy-Sci-fi-Horror and Best Published Romance. I gotta sit down with this lady and talk. She has to get me back into writing again. Her short stories have been published in print and in magazines, and her vampire story, which I love vampires, The Immortal Beloved, was a finalist for the Bram Stoker Award. When she's not writing, Lisa's also a professional tarot and oracle card reader with clients from all over the world, and she loves all things paranormal. She even spent 7 years as a DEC, America's Most Haunted Resident. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. At the Whaley House. You guys know that house
No,
in
Whaley,
San Diego?
I never read. I was
I
starting to
never heard
read
of
a
that
little
one.
bit about it, but I don't.
And you can learn more her at lisakessler.com. So we're going to give her a warm welcome to the show, Lisa. Thank you for joining us this
Hi,
evening.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for
Thanks for
being
coming
So
on.
glad to have you here tonight. We have so much to talk about with you.
Yes.
First off, I'm so impressed that you are, your paranormal stories, and tell us a little bit how you got into the writing and how did you get into the paranormal side and into the tarot cards readings? Was that something that you always were doing? Were you born this way?
No, I've always loved paranormal things, but believe it or not, New Orleans plays a giant part in why I'm a published author now, but San Diego native. But anyway, I was really into Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles, and you had to wait like a year and a half between books. And so I would just for fun write my own vampires. But I worked in a family business at the time, and we made window shades, and I went to a trade show in New Orleans. So while I was in New Orleans, I had to get my palm read, right? So go to a palm reader, and she was right on target on everything. And then on the way out, she asked me, "Can I ask you something?" And I said, "Sure." And she said, "Are you a writer?" And I said, "No, I sell window shades." And then I thought about it and I said, "Well, I write for fun." And she says, "Oh, you're going to be a famous writer someday." And I thought, what? And anyway, I ended up having my first book written like 6 months later. Who knew? But I don't know, without that nudge from her when I was in New Orleans, I don't know if I ever would have done it, because I had 2 little kids then and it just wasn't on my radar. I only did it for fun. And then years later, I got to meet Ray Bradbury. And he told me, that he believed you had to write almost 1 million words of useless words before you started to become a good storyteller. And I thought, oh my gosh, I was practicing all this time without knowing. But really, if I hadn't had gotten that nudge in New Orleans, I don't know that I ever would have tried to get published. And that was when I started writing short stories, because I was like, am I really an okay writer? And then I had one final for a Bram Stoker award, and I thought, well, okay. So I started submitting my novels, and yeah, finally got published. So
Awesome.
interesting.
Nice.
The right place at the right time.
Right?
Yeah, you need that little bit of nudge to get you moving. So maybe you're my little bit of nudge that I needed to get moving again.
Exactly. I heard you talking about that you need to write again. So definitely.
Definitely. So, okay, so what about the tarot card readings? Were you doing that before? I mean, was this something that you were like born with?
Well, I was always interested in tarot cards. And for anyone out there listening who's interested in tarot cards, but you get that booklet and you're like, oh my gosh, 78, I'll never remember them all. a lot of it has to do with how you connect with your deck. And I got the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, which is the traditional starter deck, but it is full of pictures of angry men. Almost all the cards have angry men on them.
Angry men.
And I
So
just
what are you
couldn't-
trying to say here, Lisa? What are you trying to say?
well, I just couldn't connect with it. And so I could never remember. And so I gave up. And then over the years, I started collecting tarot decks because I still really liked, the idea of it. And I finally connected with one. And once I realized, the different imagery and things that are in the cards, I can pretty much read off any deck now. But I started practicing more, and I got involved in a psychic circle where I practiced more. And eventually I started reading for clients at different shops. And now I do it through Zoom all over the world. So it's one of my favorite things.
Awesome.
I've always been curious about like tarot readings and stuff. Like, how accurate would you say that that practice is? Like, if you go to a client and they, hey, I want to get a tarot card reading, and you read their cards, like, is it pretty dead on?
That is a great question. And I don't pretend to understand how it works, but 100% you always get the card you need. Always. And I don't know why that is, but you always do. I've had skeptics come in before, and one man sat down and he told me, I don't believe in any of this stuff, but I'm curious and I wanted to try. I'm like, okay. So I had shuffled out all the cards, and I like to let people, when I'm in person, I like to let people draw their own cards. And so I shuffled and I laid them all out, and you always need to have an intention when you draw. Otherwise you get answers and you don't know what they're for. So always have an intention in your head. What do I need to know for the next 3 months? Or what do I need to know today? Or will I get this new job? Have that in your head when you draw. But anyway, he was thinking about his work, and he drew, I told him to draw 5 cards, and he just drew the first 5 in the front. And I thought, oh, okay. But I kid you not, all 5 cards that he got were pentacles, which are the health and money cards. Those are the cards for work. And I was blown away, all my hair standing up on my arms. And he's like, wow. But it was the perfect reading for him of what he needed. So you always get the card you need. And sometimes if you're asking for something that is in the future, like next year, you might not understand quite yet what that card means, but you hold on to it because it will become clear. You always get the card you need.
What spread do you use, Lisa?
I have many decks, but my go-to deck for readings that I like to use is the Mystic Dreamer deck. I just connect with it really well. So that's the one that I usually use if I'm reading for other people.
Do you use the Celtic Cross, or the spread? What spread do you use?
That is a great question. Also, I do not do the Celtic Cross. I know lots of people who do, and it works really well for them. But I find that because it has so many blocks and things like that, that I get so hung up on which card is where in the spread that I lose my connection. The whole point of a tarot card is it's just a tool to tap into your own intuition. So if you get too hung up on what the rules are, you kind of miss the message. You turn off that crown chakra and you're not getting the message. Right. So I've made my own spreads. I do a Mayan spread and an X-Wing spread. But typically, I let people draw 5 cards. That gives you a really good inkling with their intention of what they want to know. That gives you a really good inkling. And then you might draw 1 or 2 oracle cards to get more precise, dig into it a little more if they have a question about a card. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Okay.
I use the Animal Totem deck.
What?
Oh, that's a great deck.
Yeah. And I only draw 3 cards.
3 cards is perfect. Yeah. You can just do past, present, future and get a lot of information that way.
To me, in my experience, I did read tarot and I could read tarot, but I don't go by the definitions. I go by what I feel about the card and what I feel with the person. But I noticed that I've gone to a lot of fairs that I've worked, and what happens is, there's some people that get intimidated by them or they're afraid of the deck.
Yes.
That's why I started using the Animal Totem deck. and they're more relaxed, and they're more
Right.
open, and that we can do the deck. Yeah.
Well,
Sure
and I think the movies and things make tarot into some kind of mystical, scary thing, and I understand why they do it because the drama is really cool. If you've ever seen Carnival from HBO, such a great show, but it also, pulls up scary tarot things. But the reality is tarot, ever since the beginning, was just supposed to be a tool to help you get out of your own way and trust your intuition. So it's not really a scary mystical thing. Sometimes I sit down to do a reading and there are days where I look at the cards and think, this is so silly. It's just pictures printed on cardboard. But then people get the exact card they need and I go, whoa. Because again, it's just a tool. It's not like this magical, scary thing. It's just a tool to tap into the intuition that we all have, but we talk ourselves out of it constantly.
Hi, Trish.
Hi, Trish.
Hello, Trish. Thanks for coming in.
Welcome.
Hello. Sorry.
It's
Boy, if we
okay.
ever had a dinner date, we'd have to call you like 2 hours early.
I
That's a
was
good
like,
one,
this
Sean.
happens and I was actually on. I was on time to my chair and desk area here, but my computer didn't cooperate. So
The gremlins were real.
I know.
Did
There
you
is
have
a
a
gremlin
nice
right behind
Christmas?
you.
Oh no!
Lisa, real quick, did you bring your tarot deck with you? Do you have it on you?
I do.
Because I'm sure Jenny would like you to pull a card for her.
Oh,
Yeah, there we go.
I have a question real quick. I know I showed up late. Oh, of course, Thor had to make.
My boy.
Have you ever made your own deck?
Actually, I am shopping right now a tarot book called Practical Tarot, and it would have an inspired deck with it. It's all about how practical ways that you can incorporate tarot into your everyday life and how you can read cards without memorizing the book and stuff like that. So hopefully I will soon. I'll keep you posted.
I just started kind of embarking on that. I've been doing the artwork for quite a while, but as far as what, kind of what themes I want, things like that, and what types of cards I want to include, I started doing hopefully for next year. And
So you're an artist?
I am.
Oh,
and,
nice.
and I use tarot, after I initially I was kind of self-taught and I watched other readers and stuff, for a long time. But as far as in my everyday life, you mentioned, I find myself doing that all the time. If something, intuitively, if something is going to happen, obviously I pay attention to signs of the universe and things. And, I'll just pass a giant semi that says night, like KNHT or something. I'm like, obviously slow moving, or I'll see towers and things like that, so my world technically is tarot. I love it. People always ask why I don't read for other people or myself. I'm like, well, I don't know. I just kind of transferred that into my everyday life. So
yeah, I love that because typically that's what tarot should be for. It should be so that when you see those signs and you need a little validation, you can pull a card and go, oh my gosh, it was exactly what I thought, and we all need that sometimes, especially because from the time we're a little kid, people are telling us it's all in your head, so then as an adult, you get these signs and you're like, I don't feel good about that street. Oh, stop being silly. This is where Google said to go, and then we go down there and we drive over a nail.
Final destination, wrong turn.
Like that. Every time that happens, I see a dead end street, a dead end sign. I'm like, oh, death card. Nope. Not going there.
Oh boy.
So how about that reading for Jenny?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you guys think I need a reading?
Because you ask one every time we
What do they know, right?
Right?
Sure, throw me a
What
card.
do you want to know about, Jenny? What would be
Okay.
your intent?
Am I is there anybody coming into my life like a relationship thing. How's that?
Sean's single.
That's good. I'm gonna actually
You're
I have an oracle deck that's all about love and relationships here.
I'm just curious if this is going to be my year. If not, I'll be I'm too old to be a maid. Would I be a snow?
This fell out. So yes, this will be your year. I was just stuck in this box and fell out when you said that. So yes, this will be your year. Are you in New Orleans too?
No, I'm in Pittsburgh, suburbs.
Pittsburgh. Okay. I know love in the age of COVID is rough, but all right.
Well, if you're on TikTok.
Yeah. All right. So when people can't be there in person to draw cards, I use pendulums. So they just circle, and when it's over the card that the universe thinks you should have, it switches to forward and back like that, just like that. So that was nice for her to show you. So anyway, I'm going to have her draw 3, and one is past and one is present and one is future.
Oh boy.
Oh, here we go.
This might be more information than you wanted out there.
Roll the dice.
Uh-oh.
All right. We'll try not to embarrass you. All right. Here we go. All right. So for the past, we got new love. So in the past, you maybe had met someone that you maybe rushed into or something, someone who you just met, something like that in the past, and potentially got burned by that. And so now you're hesitant to trust, those feelings,
trust
right?
Issues.
Huh?
Yes, I have trust issues.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, it's always important that you know where this started so that you can leave that baggage behind, because if you're lugging around past relationship baggage, you can't have a new relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So give yourself some forgiveness that yes, this happened and it's totally normal. That's how we all stumble through, right? Oh, so this is your present card, romantic feelings. And it's interesting because the new love is all about stirring your feelings. So this year, when somebody does, you start getting those romantic feelings for somebody and you start backing off, keep in mind that I'm doing this, not them. It's my baggage.
It's me.
So yeah. So let that go so that you can enjoy it, right? And then the future, the future is give the relationship a chance.
Whoa.
There we
Yeah.
Wedding
So
bells.
those romantic feelings are going to grow into a relationship as long as you allow it.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
So
good.
when you feel the romance thing come up, do not remember, the past. Don't bring the past into it,
yeah.
right? You're
Yeah.
older and wiser now. You'll make
sure.
better choices.
I'm older and wiser.
We believe in you.
Well, Lisa, tell us about what you have any predictions for the year coming up, 2022, right?
There's gonna be a lot of
Funny you
twos
should-
in that year.
Funny you should ask, because right now is like my busiest time of year for readings. I had one right before this because I do a year ahead reading where you can see, what's coming each month of the year ahead, and then you get a mantra for the year. And the thing about predicting the future is that everyone has free will. And I'm sure you've all heard about the butterfly effect. One person doesn't go down the street and the whole world changes.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something to it. Because we have free will, we can change what that future is going to be. So I don't think that people can really accurately predict the future because it's so individualized. Some people, every time something bad happens, something good is happening for someone else, right? So so it's very individual what this future looks like. So like your 2022 could be totally opposite of the person across the street from you's 2022. So to make a blanket prediction of this is what's coming, I think is really unrealistic, because you have so many options, because we were given this magical thing called free will. So because of that, I mean, I could tell you, that from everyone's readings that I've done so far, it appears that 2022 is going to be a big transformation year. So many people have been getting these readings where they get all this transformation of, butterflies, birds, dragonflies, all those things symbolize change and beautiful positive transformation. And so many people have been getting those. So I feel like maybe going into 2022, we're finally going to see some growth, because everybody's been all, shut in just with ourselves. So it's really hard to grow that way. But I feel like from what I've been seeing of everyone's readings, it does look like people are finally going to be able to spread their wings a little bit in 2022 and grow outside of their tiny circle where we've been living. So that's encouraging to me. But again, I feel like it's so individual. It would be tough to give you a big, this is what's going to happen. I am not Nostradamus.
There's a lot of people convinced that 2022 is going to be crappy because 2020 was a bad year. So when you say 2022, as in like 2020,
right.
Also, too,
right.
People are like, "Oh, here we go again."
Yep, I've seen those memes, but I choose to not believe that.
Well,
I don't know. From the readings I've been doing, it's been lots of change, but good positive change. So I feel like it's not going to be a sudden, whack like 2020 was.
Do you see the pandemic coming to a close, or just getting another variant coming up? Do you see any closure to it?
My feeling on it is that there are going to keep being variants, but it's also going to keep dwindling as far as being so nasty, so eventually I think COVID probably will stick around, but hopefully it will be more like a nasty flu as opposed to something that gets people on a ventilator and, that kind of thing. So I think it will get better in 2022 as we go on, but I'm not plugged in, so I don't know for sure. But I hope I'm right.
We will see.
That's what I've been seeing in people's readings, so I feel pretty good about it. I think it's going to keep improving.
Well, you know what they say, it's a tradition to eat pork, right?
Yeah, sauerkraut.
Yeah. But I tell you what, and I was thinking about it. There was one year when I had a couple hamburgers, right? I had the best year of my life, hamburgers. Right?
Oh, there you go.
Hey, there's nothing bad about a hamburger, Sean.
No,
hamburgers are Sean's steaks.
But I broke protocol. I didn't eat pork.
My husband's like that too. All the hamburgers.
Yes. So I think I'm going to have a couple cheeseburgers this time
There
around.
you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
See if I have a good year, because this year sucked.
Don't forget to take your cholesterol pill when you're done.
That's all right, man.
When 2022 is better, we'll all have you and your hamburgers to thank.
There you go.
Yeah, you should pull some cards for Sean.
Yeah.
Do it. Let's do it. Let's pull some for Sean.
Yeah,
We got to see this. We got to
pull
see
3
this.
for me.
Okay. What do you want to know? Do you just want past, present, future?
Yeah, that's all.
All right.
You're going to grow your hair back. You're going to lose your hair again.
Then I'll shave it off.
I don't have a no beard card, so I don't think you have to worry.
You're going to be in the business for 31 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Past, we got the Queen of Wands. So wands is the element of fire and taking action, but this is your female energy. So this is nurturing, taking care of everyone else. So you've been doing a lot of work for a long time for everyone else, and you're really good at it, but it tires you out. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Present, more wands for you. You do a lot of things. So the Ace of Wands, it goes in a cycle from ace to 10. So the ace is a brand new cycle of activity. So when the present, since we're at the end of the year, I'm going to say, start off the new year with a new activity plan for you. And do you see the wand is glowing because it's divinely authorized? So whatever this activity is that you've been thinking of, this work that you've been thinking of doing, it's a great idea and you should move forward with it.
Cool.
It will be positive.
Cool.
And then for your future card, the Lovers. Everybody always sees this and goes, oh my God, falling in love. But that's not really what the Lovers card is about. It's major arcana. So it's like an event that's coming up. So it's finding a healthy partnership, and you both work together to protect, you honor what you guys are building together. So I feel like this new activity plan that you're about to start is going to bring you a healthy partnership to see it through.
Awesome.
So look for a partner when you're doing this new activity plan you're thinking about.
That's pretty cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me know how it goes.
Definitely
it's going to be good.
And
I
know you're an author, right? You write. Where do you come up with your own, with your different characters that you come up with? How do you go by doing that?
Well, they usually just come to me, but I do flesh them out with tarot cards. I teach classes on tarot for writers, using them for writing. It's a really great creative tool for anyone who's creative, actually, because it's separated into the 4 elements. So you have water, air, fire, and earth, which represents, health and money, taking action, your thoughts, and your heart, your love. And so that makes a really well-rounded character when you're writing. So I always draw past, present, future for heroes and heroines and all that kind of thing. And if I get stuck while I'm writing, because I'm not a big outliner, I write by the seat of my pants. So if I get stuck, I'll often pull a card and go, oh, okay, that'll work, and that really helps me get things moving. So I do use it creatively also. I feel like anyone who's a creative, like a painter or a digital artist or a writer, something like that, anybody who's creative like that, you're like tapping into this super conscious that wants this, these creative things told, these stories, cave paintings. We've been doing it forever. We tap into that. And so sometimes when we get stressed, we can't tap in. And that's when tarot cards can really help you get your creative juices flowing, because you get out of the way, and it's a tool to, tap back into that stream so you don't feel like you're swimming upstream.
That's a good question. One more real quick. So say like our listeners out there that are interested in starting to read tarot, what kind of deck do you offer or suggest, or what should our listeners do in order to start reading?
Great question. I always send people to go hunt around Pinterest, because when you go looking for a tarot deck, usually on the back, it's only going to show you like 3 cards. And I have been a victim of this so many times, where I see the 3 cards and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. One time there was this Fae tarot deck, and the cards on the back were gorgeous. It was 3 cards from the major arcana, and I love Fae and fairies and all that. So anyway, I was sure it was going to be such a great deck. And I spent like $35 on it, and I opened it up, and all of the minor arcana were like star novas. So it was just like these weird swirls of light. And I thought, oh, I don't connect with this at all. This is giving me nothing. So it was a waste. But I discovered that on Pinterest, many people buy the decks and they take pictures of all the cards and they'll post them on Pinterest. So you can really get a good feel for what the deck is, so that you don't make that mistake. And if you're new to tarot, it's really good for you to look for that, because like for me, when I found the Mystic Dreamer deck, it really opened things up for me, and now I can read off any deck. So look for one as a beginner that really speaks to you. Like you see the pictures and things pop in your head, ideas pop in your head, even before you read the book and know what the traditional meaning is of the card. If you're getting things off the card, they're working for you. So go on Pinterest and look at all the decks that people have posted, and find ones where the pictures really, make your intuition start snapping. That's the deck for you.
I have a question about the tarot. So I remember like growing up, everybody's always saying like Ouija boards are bad, and I also heard that tarot is bad as well. Now I'm an adult, so I'm trying to understand everything better. I know, I definitely won't be playing with an Ouija board, but I wanted to, is there any kind of similar ties with tarot in something like an Ouija board, or is it completely separate? Don't need to worry about.
It's
I don't know. So I'm
completely
curious.
separate. So here's the difference. So when you play with a Ouija board, you are basically asking anything out in the universe that's sitting there a question. You don't know who, you don't know why, you don't know anything, and you're moving this plastic piece around that has been touched by who knows, who built it, all this kind of thing. So when you get a tarot deck, typically you want to make the deck yours. So some people will take the deck out and shuffle it and then put it on the windowsill during a full moon or something. Just anything. It's more of your intention, your ritual, that this is my deck. Then all it is a tool for you. So it's not scary at all. Again, TV and movies try to make tarot into this mystical thing. Yeah, and like TV and movies love to put the death card into play because it seems so scary. But the reality of the death card is just closing a chapter so you can open a new one. So it's actually a beautiful card, but they make it into a piano's going to fall on you. And that is not what the death card is about. The death card is, the flowers die, so new flowers come up. It's closing a chapter so you can open a new one. So it's not even, scary. It's just same thing with the devil card. The movies make, the devil card is so scary. But the devil card isn't actually about the devil or any place hot. It's about giving up something that no longer serves you. And the devil is that it used to make you happy. So like my example I'll give people when they get the devil card is when you're 20 and you go out clubbing with your friends, it's so much fun. Oh my gosh, because you're 20, you can bounce back and go to work the next day. But if you are 30 and you are still going to clubs and you are wishing that it made you feel good, and it does not anymore because now you have hangovers and you can't pull it together for work so well. So the devil card would be unchain yourself. You don't need to go clubbing anymore. Yes, it used to make you happy, but now it no longer serves you. So let it go. That's what the devil card is all about. But TV and movies, they use it as a plot device to be scary, but that's not what tarot's for. So the difference would be that a Ouija board isn't really yours. I mean, you bought it from Mattel or whoever makes it, but you don't know anything about it.
Ouija is like 8 years old, so you can summon demons at 8. Is there like a proper starting age for tarot? Like 14 plus or something?
I have seen that there is a new deck that's called Tarot for Kids, and I don't know what the age is for it, but my feeling is kids are so in touch with their intuition that they don't need tarot cards. I can't imagine a kid who would need a tarot card because they're so in touch all the time, and it's us who squish that out of them, But I can't imagine a kid would need a tarot card because they get an idea and they already know it's amazing and it's going to be the best idea ever. And we're the ones who tell them, oh, that's silly, kid, go back to school. So I don't know if kids really need tarot cards, but I have seen that there are a couple decks out there that are for kids.
Yeah, I was going to say they make children's tarot cards. So I saw that.
Yeah, I've
Spirit
seen that they exist, but I haven't played with any, so I don't really know. But
I don't know who makes. I know they exist. I've seen them, but I haven't really delved into that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz, very much for doing that.
Liz commented in that she shared a podcast with some groups and some of her friends over in Scotland. So thank you very much.
Cool.
That's really, really cool. Yeah. I tell you what, this is a fun show tonight. This is a fun show. It really is. But so back to your books. It's fascinating about the vampires. Can you talk a little bit more about where you come up with your stories with the vampires?
Well, I wrote vampires first, so I do have a vampire series, but I set them because I was a baby writer then, and everyone tells you to write what you know, and I'm a San Diego native, so I was like, well, there's old things in San Diego that most people don't know about. So I went from the mission, and it was like, okay, well, if I involve a Spanish priest from the mission, then how would I get a vampire there? And so I started doing research into the Mayans and their creation myth. And they have, blood is a big part of the Mayan creation myth. And so I took that and tweaked it a little bit. And so my vampires are descended from the Mayans instead of the Europeans, and they call themselves night walkers instead of vampires. And it kind of grew from there. Because I write paranormals, I love to take mythology and twist it around a little bit and make it occur today. So I have a lot of fun with that. And so a lot of the story comes from myths like that.
That's pretty
go.
cool. Have you ever decided to write about aliens?
About what?
Aliens. Have you?
Aliens. Well, I have an Immortal Pirate series that I'm writing for a publisher right now. And it's basically the pirates had hijacked a ship that had the world's greatest treasure, and it ended up being the Holy Grail. And they all drank from it, so they're all still alive, and they live in Savannah, Georgia. And the latest books from that, they steal now for the government. My agent had sold it as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. meets Pirates of the Caribbean. So they steal for the government now, relics and things. And the book that comes out in January, we go to Atlantis. And I researched so much about Atlantis, and I decided that they're aliens. And so there are aliens in that book, and that led me to a mermaid in the book I just turned in, and they came from Neptune. And so anyway, my first 2 books with aliens. But that's it for me so far for aliens.
Wow. God, I wish I had your imagination. I know I couldn't. You write good ghost stories. While we're on the topic of your books, what are some of your paranormal books about? I know you were saying something about, I guess, I forget the name of the word, but how do you come up? Name me some of your good paranormal books that you come up with.
So Nightwalker is the first one of the vampire series. And then the Immortal Pirates, the first one is Magnolia Mystic, and it's free right now, so everyone can grab that.
What platform is there? Or
all of them. It's
Amazon Kindle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Amazon, Barnes and Noble. It's everywhere. And that will get you into the pirates and the Holy Grail and all that kind of stuff. I also have a Muse series called the Muse Chronicles that takes place in California. And the myth behind that is that the 9 daughters of Zeus are reborn every generation to inspire mankind to the next level. But this particular generation, the Order of the Titans, finds out who they are. And so anyway, so I brought Greek gods back to California. So that was fun. And I have a bunch of werewolf series also. One pack is in Reno, Nevada. Another one is in Sedona, Arizona. And the next one is going to be in Salem, Massachusetts. And that will be the first werewolf pack that I've written that will also have magic. So I'm excited.
Nice.
So who's the nemesis for the werewolves?
Ooh, the werewolves, the nemesis is our government, because the werewolves are hidden from most Americans, but the Department of Defense knows that shifters exist, and they've been performing super soldier research on these shifters. And now there's the pack I'm writing now, there's a senator who wants to declassify the super soldier research, in which case the whole world would know that shifters exist. So they're like, So anyway, very fun.
Sounds like fun.
Yes.
Sounds like fun.
So I was watching a documentary yesterday, actually, which was one I had never seen. I thought I had heard most stories about vampires and werewolves throughout time, and this one had the perspective that vampires and werewolves started out as kind of the same creature in the beginning of time.
Oh.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And they had all this proof to back it up. And I thought I had never heard that you see things about the hybrids like later in time in story,
Right.
and Egyptology and things like that. But this was stating that from the very beginning, they had the same, werewolves were vampires, vampires were werewolves. So it was interesting.
Did you ever see that movie Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman?
Mhm.
Yes.
That had a really interesting mythology where the vampire and the werewolf were angels and one was fallen, and it was really very, very cool. I love, part of my favorite part of reading paranormal books is that people can take that core mythology that we all know and just twist it a little bit. And I love that. And I love the creativity of how different people do that is really interesting to me. And I love that. Part of what I loved about Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles was that she twisted it up with all kinds of, she twisted up with witches, with God, with, just the creation of being and the old ones and Acacia. And it was so fantastic, and she wove it through all the different time periods and all that kind of thing. That I always find that fascinating. So I love reading, paranormal books like that. I like believing that there is more to the world than what we see. And that has, always followed me through haunted houses and all kinds of things.
Most definitely.
Have
It's
you had
sad
any
that she
encounters
passed away
with,
this year.
I know. I was very sad to hear that. I'm so glad that I got to meet her 5 years ago, which
That would
was
have
so
been great.
Yeah, she was so kind and nice, and I told her the silly story about the time I went to New Orleans and I laid under her limousine and took pictures. She was so sweet. I told her that, and she said, "Oh, people did crazy things when she lived in New Orleans, but her limo was parked right on the street, and what could we do? So we each took turns laying under the wheel and taking pictures like we were being run over by Anne Rice's limo. It was pretty cool."
Yeah.
So have you ever had any firsthand experiences like ghosts or spirits or poltergeists or anything?
Yes.
Sean and I are investigators, so we're curious to see if you've had any.
Very cool. You guys have never been to the Whaley House in San Diego?
No, that's a little far for right now.
Right. Well, when the budget, you got to go because all the ghost shows have been through the house. But I've had so many cool experiences there. Basically, the Whaley House was built on San Diego's first execution grounds. When they stopped hanging people there, the city wanted to erase that had happened, and so they made a really great deal to Mr. Whaley to buy this property, and so he bought it and built his family home on it. And I don't know if that cursed him. Lots of bad things happened to his family in that house. One daughter committed suicide. They lost a baby. But there's lots of hauntings there, but I really enjoyed it because none of it felt evil or scary. It's like people just still wanted to have their house. So I had one of the coolest experiences was we would wear period garb. So I would go down once a week and be a docent. I would give tours. People from all over the world come to see the Whaley House. And so one night I hadn't been there for a week. So when we changed, we would change up in the Whaley closet. And so we could see into the bedroom, and I would always take a picture. And sometimes I would get orbs and things. But this one night, I hadn't been there the week before. I'm like, "Hey, Whaleys, did you miss me?" And I have my phone and I go to take a picture, and they turned off the whole phone. dead. I was like, oh,
Phantom
okay.
Focus kind of
So
stuff.
I put my phone away and I go do my first tour. And in the period garb, we keep our hair in a bun, and we have a bun cover, a little lace bun cover. And mine had a comb underneath it. So it was very secure. But at the end of the tour, I'm down there in the hallway by the front door, and I'm telling the final stories, and it starts to feel like a bug is crawling across the top of my hair. And I'm like, what? And I keep feeling the top of my head while I'm talking. And a lady on the tour goes, it's behind you. I'm like, what? And I look, and my hair, the hair cover had come off and was 4 feet away from me on the doormat. And all the hair on the back of my neck rose up, and people are giving me tips on the way out. I'm like, I had nothing to do with that, but thank you. And so when everyone was outside, I closed the door and I picked it up and I told the Whaleys, thank you, that's enough. And they left me alone the rest of the night. And they had done it so gently that it had to have been the daughters of the Whaleys. So that was interesting. And one night I gave the final tour there. And when you're doing the final tour of the night, the head docent will go behind you and turn out lights so that we can leave earlier. And I took my tour upstairs, and then we came back downstairs. And while we were downstairs, the head docent came down, turned off all the lights, and we start hearing all the chairs upstairs moving like people were dragging them, and they're thumping across, and everyone's looking up at the ceiling, and the head docent gets that look on his face, like somebody's up there who's not supposed to be, and he goes stomping up the stairs, and I finish the tour and send them out. And when he comes back down the stairs, I'm looking at him and he's looking at me. I said, there was nobody there, was there? He said, no, there's nobody up there. Dang it. Nice. So anyway, lots of cool experiences at the Whaley House. But like I say, none of them felt, evil or bad. It was just people who wanted their house back. One of the ghost hunting shows came, and I forget which one it was, the one with the guy who yells a lot, Zach. And they set up all these infrared things and everything. And the Whaleys are from the 1800s. So if you can imagine, this man has been in their house, moving their furniture around, putting this stuff up, and then he yells, show yourself. And the Whaleys set off the alarm, the house alarm, the security system. It starts going whoop, whoop. And they set it off 4 times that night. They wanted him out of their house. I'm pretty sure that's the only weird thing he got that night. They had enough of his shenanigans. But it was a really fun house.
It sounds like it. Yeah. Sounds like I need to book some plane tickets in the future.
Yeah, definitely. It's so cool. And they used to do, I don't know if they still do it. They probably do. But if you're a paranormal investigator, you can do an after hours thing where they just let you in the house for 2 hours after all the tours are done. So it's usually
want an all-nighter. We want an all-nighter. Yeah,
we're gonna fly across the United States for one night.
$2,500 for a damn plane ticket,
right?
For a 2-hour bit. No, I want all night. Yeah,
yeah. Well, they would probably do that, but typically they'd give you like a 2-hour window after hours. But Regis Philbin tried to spend the night at the Whaley House, and it scared him so bad he ran out and never went back in. And before he died, they did. I can't think of the show, the one with the psychic who would take famous people back to places where they were haunted. Anyway, she brought him back finally a few years before he died. And he finally told everyone what happened. And it was basically he had brought his Navy friend with him as muscle. And when his Navy friend was unrolling his sleeping bag, Regis was standing there and the Mrs. Whaley came out of the picture, and her apparition apparently was so clear that he's freaking out, and his Navy buddy looked up and saw her and tried to tackle her. And then she was gone, and they were out, done.
We've had clients before that were talking about trying to beat up ghosts. It's
yeah. I've never seen an apparition
luck.
that clear, but that's pretty. That would freak me out too. But yeah, that was very interesting. But Mrs. Whaley saw him there. Maybe she wanted to help. I don't know. But they were out.
That's why you got to
good.
keep cameras rolling the whole time. You know,
Yes.
video cameras and regular cameras, and
Definitely.
full spectrum cameras, and blah 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 blah.
Well, is there anything else you want to share with us this evening before we let you go?
Did Jason get a reading?
Yeah, Jason, you guys?
Trish didn't get one either.
Yeah, you guys can get a reading.
Oh, do you want a reading before I go?
Might as well make it the whole group of us.
Okay. Jay, what do you want? What's your question?
Just the 3. We'll do the
Okay,
past,
present, future.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
All
All right,
right.
let me turn my
here we
camera
go.
off because I don't know what's going to
Here
happen.
No Ouija
Dude,
board. You don't
dude.
have to be scared. All right.
My racing, it's about to pop out of my chest right now. I'm so nervous.
Oh,
Come on, if you believe that shit.
I'll be very gentle. I promise.
He's-
Okay.
I was at
Here
the
we go.
doctor's office today and they
Everyone
gave me a shot in my foot. I just like closed my eyes and froze. I was like, I can't deal with this.
Okay, for your past, you got the Knight of Wands. Remember, Wands is fire and taking action, but Knights rush in where others fear to tread. So they often rush in with no plan. So on this deck, it's very cute because he's here ready to go, but his horse has no saddle or bridle. So he's going to get there really fast, doesn't know where he's going. So when this card comes up, it's usually a nudge from spirit that you maybe, this was in your past position. So you maybe had these great ideas and you took off before you really had a plan. So you never finished. So, you know, that's kind of the night energy is that you're going to rush, but you really don't have a plan.
Send it.
All right. And then your current is the Queen of Cups. So the Queen is your female side, your nurturing side, but Cups is the element of water. So this represents our emotions that are always moving and changing. And the thing about the Queen of Cups is she holds her cup and looks at it. So it's like love is something, is an object to have. She's not like participating. And in the background, there are ships passing her by. So when this card comes up, it's a nudge from spirit to get back involved. If you're already in a relationship, make an effort to be involved in it. Instead of having it, participate in it. And if you're not in a relationship right now, it could be that you have made love something on a pedestal that you would like to achieve someday instead of getting back in the water, you know, and participating. So either way, you know, focus on your love right now because it's right now you're not an active participant. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get you.
Okay. And your future. Great
boy.
future for you, the sun. So in tarot, there are 78 cards. There is only one good luck card, and that's the sun. That's what we got. So 2022 is going to be an awesome year for you. If you can see it, she's holding out her hand and the sun is hitting it and every flower is blooming. And so don't be afraid in 2022 to go for it because luck is on your side.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear what big things you do, but don't forget.
Yeah, I'm curious. You know, I got some things in the works.
Don't forget to make a plan. Just saying.
Don't just dive
Don't
in and
repeat
find
the
out there's no water.
Yeah, don't repeat your past. Make a plan.
Ugh.
Who do we miss?
Trish.
Trish.
Oh,
What
come
would you
on.
like to know?
Open your eyes, Trish. Come on.
Yeah, just past, present, future.
Past, present, future. All right. All
I'm
right.
like, Jason, I'm gonna have a heart attack here.
Oh, come on.
It wasn't that
Where's
bad,
Flora?
right?
Bring
It
Flora
wasn't
in
that bad. Was it secretly awful and you're just scared over there? It wasn't bad. All right. He's still
be just fine,
percolating
Trish.
over all of
He's
that.
still, he's got to process that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta
keep
process. I
processing
just
over
had my
there.
whole lifeline thrown in like 5 minutes, so I gotta process it all.
All right, here we go. Oh, Page of Swords. So Page energy is young you. Your inner child is still in you. And this is your past. So past you used to have big dreams. And when this card comes up, it's always a nudge from spirit to honor our inner child. So you had swords is air. It's real in our head, but not actually out in the world. You need to think about, you had some great idea when you were younger, when you were a kid, and you haven't acted on that. If there's a way for you to bring that up, it raises your vibration. Honoring your inner child is like pressing that happy button. So you're like an artist. If there was something that you loved as a kid, for me it's unicorns, but draw that and let that out, because it'll really light you up. Okay.
Huh. Now, I had a lot of ideas as a kid, so there's no telling.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Well, tap in and meditate, and it will come back to you. You got the High Priestess for your present. And again, this is major arcana, so it's a nudge from spirit for you to get back connected. So meditate, whatever your image is for your dogma, your God, your spirit, your universe, whatever you believe, you need to get back in touch with that, because when we're away from it, it makes it easy for us to lose that feeling that we were made for this moment, right? You were made for this moment. You're made of stardust. There's only one you. And when you tap into this High Priestess energy, it gives you purpose again. You remember, that I was created for this, right? And for future, Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man in tarot is all about looking at something from a whole different angle. And again, because this is major arcana, there's going to be an event, probably the beginning of 2022, where your gut reaction is to say no, or to do this or something like that. Remember this card and go, wait, I'm going to do something I would never do. And, try a whole different thing, see it from a different angle. The other cool thing is you'll see there's two birds holding you up. Birds in tarot always represent your guides, your spirit guides, your angels, all that kind of thing. And they're holding you up. So you're safe. You can make a different decision than you usually make, and you'll be safe. So don't be afraid when that situation comes up here in the near future, to look at it from a whole different angle than you normally would. And you're going to go down a whole new path. It'll be great. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, thank
There
you
you
very
go.
much.
We got to have you on again.
Yes, you did well.
Yeah. I'd be happy to come back sometime. But thanks for having me. And I hope you guys all have a fantastic 2022.
Yeah, and I'm going to check out
You
your
too,
books.
Lisa.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
All right, yes,
Please
thank you very
do.
much.
And stay in touch. I'll see you guys later.
Okay,
All right,
you have a
take
great
care.
one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you again
Bye.
for coming on the
Thank
show.
you.
There you go. She was good.
I liked her. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a really good, interesting. Interesting. I'm going to have to check out her books, especially the vampire ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's about that time for me to.
Okay,
All right,
Jason, you
Jason,
take it
you
easy.
take
Hope you
care,
feel
buddy.
better.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty busy day tomorrow.
Okay, you get to sleep.
3:30 comes early.
Yep. Won't
I
have a
know
good
that
night.
feeling, brother. Hey, have a good night.
Wow. Just us three now, guys.
Look at me.
So weird with just
I am a rose between two thorns.
Maybe I should move you. Yeah, there you go. Oh, look at him. He's all excited.
I love it. I love
You're
it.
funny.
I know. God, cheer everybody up. So, Trish, how was your Christmas?
Oh, it was good. I spent it with my kids and family, and we didn't do too much, but it was fun. Oh, where'd you go?
I don't know, Jen. I don't know. So, I guess we can talk about. Well, she'll be back.
I have so many places. I've been doing so much research. Speaking of paranormal, on Kansas places that I didn't know existed until recently. So I am excited about that in the new year to explore those things more.
Like where you want? You should come out east, honestly, because
Well, I used to live out east.
come down Pennsylvania though. There's a lot of places down in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and
I've only been through West Virginia. I've never actually. I'm not very familiar with a lot of places there. I know, I've been a lot of areas in Pennsylvania, obviously New York, New England area, and then of course I used to live in the South as well. So there's
that's a lot
There
of
you go.
traveling. That's a lot of traveling. But I knows that for me, I do plan on going out west when I retire. I'm getting an
Really? What
RV.
part?
Yeah,
You wanna go to
straight
Montana?
straight through. Hopefully, end up in Montana.
That's where I want to go, so I can get a horsey and go on the Dutton Ranch.
Did you know? I did not realize until they were talking about it on. It was another podcast the other day that was talking about how much land Wyoming and Montana used to have that was just bare and nothing there, and now with the cannabis industry, they have, I don't know if they're government owned, but a lot of the state now in Montana, surprisingly, is owned by the marijuana industry.
Really?
Oh wow!
A lot of it's owned by the Chinese too, believe it or not.
Well, I mean, I don't know who owns it. I just know they've made a lot of the land into those fields. So
The Chinese own some of Montana. I thought it was Canada.
I think they own a lot of the United States now.
Okay.
Yeah, I've read it.
especially after COVID and the shutdown.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. I just want to go out west. I got what?
There you go.
6
Well-
more years, and I'm gone.
Well,
At
when
that
you
point,
when you go out there, Sean, make sure you stop at the Montana Vortex house.
the what? Oh, I heard about that. I read a little bit about that. Tell me about it, Jen.
Well, it's a sacred site, they call it, because a lot of unusual things happen there. It's about 13 miles west of Glacier
Mm-hmm.
National Park, and it's been mystifying and exciting the visitors, they said, for years, like 40 years.
Holy
The
crap.
Native American Indians said that there's some kind of natural occurring like vortex
Mhm.
that everything's like a portal. Did you ever hear of a church? There's a portal.
There's quite a few in the Midwest. That one specifically, I've never heard of. I was reading up on it earlier and watching that video, but I'm wondering. So, with especially with highly sensitive people, I'm sure this probably happens to you as well, Jenny. Like if you're in nature, there are a lot of naturally occurring portals and
Yes.
vortexes and such. I mean, that you can physically feel.
Mhm.
And so, but one thing, there used to be a major one. Gosh, there might still be a major one in like Michigan. Is it one of the main?
I don't know. I haven't read about that one. I just know about the Montana house with the. They said there's a lot of EMF. They said if you bring your phone in, sometimes it messes up your phone. Pictures. They take pictures in the house where they can actually, when you walk in, you actually feel the atmosphere changes, and it can make some people sick.
Mhm.
When they take pictures, that the pictures that turn out, there's things in the pictures that weren't there, like the people
Right.
that aren't in the particular
Well,
part of the house.
But wouldn't that but I guess my question is, how do they define that as a vortex or a portal? Because there's tons of haunted houses that could have the same occurrences.
I don't know.
You could get apparitions or people get nauseous and things
Absolutely.
around paranormal
I'm
activity.
not sure how they come to that conclusion. I know that they said there's a gravitational anomaly that's there, that the gravity is different. You can actually see their hair move. There's something.
That's what I was
It's not-
wondering. If it's something like with the magnetic,
It's just not the house. It's a particular area, like the whole area. It's like they could call
I
it
see.
a vortex. Keep losing my head.
I mean, I know there are some houses that I did investigate that, and believe it or not, it's closets that when I go and like in the house and I go to the closet, um, I get that feeling like like Jenny was explaining there. It's like a
Mhm.
vortex. Augie, what the hell are you doing, buddy?
I can't
Well, so
show that.
there's something I've often, I've thought about this a lot with closets because obviously throughout history, throughout folklore, there's always been something with caves and closets. And look at all the children's movies where, the monsters come out of the closet and different. It's never like it's the closet or under the bed. It's not.
Oh,
And that's stories like that have been around since.
a lot of like I know Stranger Things. Wasn't there some kind of portal? I don't know if you ever watched Stranger Things on.
That was in the closet, you mean?
I'm not sure if it was a closet. There was just total like another like there's a they called it a vortex with these take them to a different, I guess, a time or it's sort of like the Matrix, sort of like this is this reality. And there's a different I can't even talk reality.
Well, and then of course there's like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. They go through the wardrobe and what's the other? There's one in the trunk.
Here's what's scary for me. If I see the vortex there, all right, I want to walk through it. That's me. I want to walk through it. My question is, would I come back? Because, if I walk through, where in the hell am I going to be? What year will it be? What would be around me? And all these thoughts get into my head. So if I did see a vortex out there in the woods, I'd be just running the other way.
Well, let's say think Skinwalker Ranch is. It's just one big vortex.
Well, the same we talked about the one in New York, in Watertown, New York, briefly the one time, and that one specifically, there's a specific part of the park. It's a giant, city park, and people have claimed to walk into one side of the park, and all of a sudden they end up on the other side of it because it's kind of on a giant hill. Which is another, that's a little bit different. I'm like, okay, so it's not like a portal vortex out in the middle of flat land. There's a difference to me in it being on the side of a hill because as we've studied with historically and with aliens and everything else, that could be kind of an illusion, that maybe that's some type of door or something, obviously. So I still don't know how to differentiate between vortexes and portals and the illusion, these hidden doors and things like that. Because I think there's definitely a difference in, especially the ones that are near water or in caves, things like that. Because I think they feel differently paranormal, from a paranormal sense.
Well, I got Guido for Christmas, right? See him? I got Guido. All right, and he's a man in black.
You're funny, Sean.
Come on, be happy. 2021's done. It's over.
Well, this is a picture that Augie, I believe it. Yeah, this is the vortex house.
That's wild.
And I guess she's saying that it's causing some kind of goofy gravity.
No, Gravity Hill here, Jen, right?
No.
Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay, my question is now.
That could be a vortex.
It's magnets, believe it or not.
Well, magnetic pole, yeah. Now, what do you mean? There's magnets in the road or?
All around the area, all around that road.
It's the magnetic pole of the earth.
Yeah, that's what they say, but they're actually real magnets.
Well.
Big ones.
No, did someone put them there on purpose or with?
Yeah. So who's not to say that this house, these people for 40 some years put major magnets around the place to make it.
Maybe there is.
But why? Okay, first of all, who would put them there? Well, like in your area, for instance.
To make money. A lot of people go there. they make a lot of money up there in that place.
Oh yeah. And then that was my second question. For what purpose? For what do they do to the environment? What do they do? So I know there's been a lot of studies done, even with animals, on the effects of not only the magnetic pull, but in magnets themselves and the effect it has on their, like with birds and bats and things like that, as far as their directional abilities, their what do bats have? I was going to say their sonar.
Sonar.
Is it sonar?
Sonar.
There's sonar. Things like that, So I'm wondering, because that's kind of scary if somebody put them there and it wasn't specifically for like a tourist attraction.
No, it was. Trust me, it was. They make tons of money up there, Trish.
Oh, I'm sure, but I'm saying, is that just on a surface level, or is what the purpose would be, or can they actually control I don't know, the environment with that, as far as people, traffic? I don't know.
Whatever they came up, they're making a ton of money by doing it. So that's my question is it possible that they put magnets around this house? Do you know, in order to get the effect on it?
I don't think so, because it's just not that people feel actually they get sick. They get sick in the stomach. I don't. The road it's just that the road goes up, but how's that? Do you have any? I'm trying to think the name of it. What's it called? The road.
Shit. I don't know.
Augie, do you know the road?
Yeah, Augie. What's the word? Road. But what the hell is it? It's like you go up, but your car goes back.
I know what you're talking. I just seen that on. Oh, forget the name of it.
But
I can't remember.
So I don't know. It just, when something like that happens, or when people, especially when they put it on the internet and they're telling people, come here, come here, come here. To me, that's just a moneymaker. Just like with the paranormal shows, when TAPS, they would go to these big places and they would investigate. And now those people, I mean, to go out to Eastern Penitentiary, it costs like $2,500 just to investigate for a night.
Yeah.
And then the only way you can do that is if you get 100 people in order to pay $25. And who wants to go freaking investigate with 100 people in a prison?
Now, I'm wondering also in the Montana one if there are any mines nearby.
Oh, yeah.
That would have a huge factor, what they mine and what the land is sitting on. There's so many. Look at what stones do and crystals do and to the environment and to people.
Well, I had a guest on my show, and he's a friend of mine, and he lives in Montana, and he owns like 3 or 4 silver mines, So there's a ton of mines out there.
Silver has any metal has a very, affect people differently. So that would be a big, and especially if people, if people are not used to heightened senses and heightened awareness, it's going to make them feel differently and feel sick and stuff. I remember, it's kind of like after I was sick, when my body started healing and all of my senses started coming back heightened, I would get kind of an overload in, of those feelings. And so I'm wondering if that's kind of the effect, this is having, especially if there's stones or something in the earth there.
That's possible. I mean, we're just going to have to find out, huh? We're going to have to take a trip out to Montana and find out what's up with that,
Well, there's a couple different ones. And there's one called the Bringing Rocks Vortex, Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there's quite a few in the U.S.
Well, I'm going to have to take her right up to Bucks County. Do you want to come with us, Jen?
Sure. I want to go to Montana, though.
Yeah.
I want to go.
Meet a cowboy, huh?
Yeah.
That's Wyoming.
Oh, Wyoming.
No, there's cowboys in Montana. Did you watch Yellowstone?
No, I can't get into that. Nope.
No, Kevin Costner and the
Oh.
ranch.
I just found something though so my curiosity, living in since there's different ones around the Midwest as far as there are no operating nuclear reactors or fuel cycle facilities located in Montana because Montana is not an agreement state. However, the state has jurisdiction over X-ray equipment, naturally occurring radioactive materials, and certain radioactive materials that are not produced in a reactor. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. That's very interesting. So, carnation. Have you had carnation? Did you use carnation in your baking, Jen?
I don't think. Oh yeah, I did. I used
You did?
carnation evaporated milk for my nut horns.
For your nut horns. That's cool.
Yeah, I did.
And I want to thank Carnation for sponsoring our second hour of
Thank you,
Chasing
Carnation.
Prophecy. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So, what's your plans for 2022, Jen?
I don't know.
You
Take
don't
a
know?
nap.
What's that?
Take a nap. Just gonna try to just get myself together and try to start writing again. About it.
Well, if you want my psychic prediction, I think you're gonna start getting publicized. And she's a good writer, dudettes. Her books are great. They're fantastic. You seriously need to check them out. And all you publishers out there, you have to check them out because they're freaking good. All right. I don't read much, but once I started reading her trilogy, what's the name of the trilogy again?
From the Sky.
From the Sky. I was enjoying them books. I couldn't put them down. Honest to Pete. Honest to God.
Should be my publicist.
Hey, I wish I had the money, I'd do it. I mean, seriously, because you're a very, very good writer. Very good writer. And I think 2022 is going to take off for you. I really do believe that.
Well, thank
Same
you.
with you,
Maybe you should
Trish.
pull out your tarot cards and start doing some readings.
Trish,
Right?
same way with you, too. Your business is going to go way out there. It really is. I don't know. This is what I see. I see that there are going to be about 2-3 people are going to be coming up to you within January, February, all right, that are going to like really, really take interest on what you're doing. Okay.
I hope so.
Oh, hope. No, I know so. I know so. Okay. Well, we're also going to have to break out my animal totem cards to tell you. But no, seriously.
You should. When's the last time you read for other people?
That was, let's see, that was in October.
Oh, it's not long ago.
Yeah, I did a lot of readings. In fact, I worked the psychic fairs, and I did a lot of reading. But what really bugged me about that was that a lot of the other readers that were there, they were real snobbish, you know what I mean? And, their tables were all decked out and all kinds of pretty stuff. And I didn't have nothing pretty. I just had my cards. But can I share
your
this?
energy? That's.
I'm going to share this one story. And this was the coolest thing. We were in Washington, PA, and we were they had a fair there. And I see this girl standing out there waiting to get a reading, right? She lets the other girl go first, okay? And so when my reading was done, this chick came right over to me, right? And honest to God, I said, you better take that ring out of your purse and put it on your finger because you're going to lose it and your husband's going to get pissed because you're going to forget about it. And you won't have it on your finger. You know what she did? She opened up her purse, put the ring on her finger, and left. But she did pay me. So it was like, yeah.
That's how people don't. That's why I don't read for people because they don't. So here's my problem with the ones at, two different things. at spirit fairs and stuff, first of all, there is so much scattered energy there because there's so many different energies, so many different energy workers, so many different energy tools, but a lot of the readers and stuff at these people, I think that's where a lot of readers get kind of the bad stigma, the bad reputation, because there are those out there. I mean, it's as any career, any human, you can have the bad ones and the good ones. There are some that take advantage of people.
Right.
And so there are some that will use the cards to manipulate people.
Yes.
To get them kind of hooked and addicted, almost in a gambling nature, because they do, they are money hungry. And then there's the ones that sugarcoat everything and don't actually, they're more people pleasers. Maybe I don't go by the decked out tables and stuff. It's more energy, but
Hi, Doreen.
But they will kind of, to a sense, manipulate people in that way because they're really just telling them kind of what they want to hear rather than what they're getting from the cards. So
right. Now, see, I understand when readers, I mean, it is their business, right? And that's how they do survive. But see, this is where I come in my conflict, and this is my only conflict, nobody else's. I'm not judging anybody else, but this is me. On one hand, I'm good at what I do, okay? And that is to help people. But on the other hand, I know I could take advantage of people, and I don't want to do that because whenever I had my accident back in '83, okay, God gave me this gift to help people. He didn't give it to me to take money. You know what I mean? And so that's where my conflict is right now. My conflict is, so what I do is somebody will come up and ask for a reading, and they first thing out of their mouth is how much? And I tell them, do you have a penny? Give me a penny, because you have to keep that energy flowing when you're doing your reading. You cannot just give and not receive back,
Right.
But even if they don't have a penny, I ask the person, well, make somebody smile today. You know what I mean? Do something, and that's how you pay me back. But that's the way I work. And I don't know. Enough of me. Your turn, Jen. You okay, honey? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oops, lost him.
I keep losing you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
So
I think I need to get a new
cards that I think I showed you all before, or maybe I don't know if I had the box, but they're by Maya Toll, and they are the most. It's kind of like animal oracle cards. You're talking this way.
Oh, they're pretty.
Oh, they're neat.
Yeah, these are some of my favorite. They're about inspirational animals, guidance and rituals from inspirational animals, and it has the most amazing artwork, and they're kind of metallic looking, so it's one of my favorite.
I love the artwork on the tarot decks, honest to God.
There's some really neat ones.
Yes, there are. But what blows me away is how somebody can take a deck of cards and do a reading with them.
How do they do that?
I don't know.
You it's like your face card, all of the suits are kind of your major arcanas, and then you go different numbers are I don't remember what the meanings are for the numbers, but I know they use those in a similar way too.
I saw it done one time, and I was impressed. I was not on me, but I saw the girl do it on another person, and I was impressed on how she read it. So
I used to read playing cards in that manner, especially when I was a dealer, at a casino. On certain, so obviously in witchcraft, you can read playing cards to determine. Back in the day when I if someone has cursed you or cursed someone else, things like that, you can use playing cards.
How do you take a curse off?
Oh gosh, depends on what kind of curse it is. Most of the time, we curse ourselves. There is nobody else, you know.
Look at her eyes.
We're like, yeah, I'm telling you, you know, we're our greatest critics. So all those negative self-thoughts, you're cursing yourself.
Don't give me no
Oh, wow. I don't know. Well, you know, did you buy your pork yet?
hope. Did I find my you know what? I just turned the stupid light off. Now I can't turn it off. I was at the store today and I saw this lady in front. She was behind me. She had these huge pork roasts, then she had pork chops, and then she had a pork, I don't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what are you feeding? Who are you feeding with all that food? It's like, I don't get it. I can't. I was going to buy a pork roast, and I said, you know, I really don't like them.
Whatever you do, if you do buy a pork roast, buy one with the bone in it, the boneless pork. That is so dry. I don't care how
You mean
well
you should get the one with the bone in the pork?
Yes, the hell the boneless one. I've cut so much pork in the last 3 days. I'm all porked out. I mean,
I really don't. See, my dad used to make a pork where he would put bacon on it, put it in the oven, let it roast. But I never know when they're done. Sorry.
Do you have seriously thermometer? I think it's at 160, 165.
You know what? I'd rather have kibasi.
Okay, I'd do that.
Or hot dogs with sauerkraut.
Believe it or not, kibasi is from a pig.
Well, yeah, isn't ham? That's what I try to tell my mom. We usually have like a ham on Christmas Eve, like a, you know, ham sandwich. Wasn't that pork? It's like I was trying to tell her that's pork.
Yes,
right?
it is pork. Yeah, it's definitely pork.
I'd rather just have a stupid pizza.
Pizza. Now, I tell you what, instead of going for a roast, I usually go for some baby back ribs or some St. Louis ribs.
Well, isn't that pork?
Yes, it is.
Why can't we just have pork spare ribs?
Yeah, you can eat anything pork.
I like spare ribs. I like pulled pork.
Pulled pork's good. That's the most, oh my God, that's the best. That's from the butt of the pig.
I like Pittsburgh barbecue myself, but
yes,
nobody else.
How about you out there in Kansas here?
What do you have in Kansas?
Yeah.
My favorite meat, honestly, is probably deer or elk.
Ooh.
Deer. I can't eat baby deer. I can't eat Bambi.
I can try. Now, ask on the elk. Is it more leaner than a deer, or is it about the same? Is there a different type of taste in it?
No, I think it's leaner.
Is it? Do you throw pork in with it?
No, I don't really eat that much pork.
See, here's the deal here. When everybody goes out and gets their deer, especially hunting, the day after hunting, guys will come in and they'll buy pork shoulders and mix it in with their deer meat, you know, in order to give it a taste. You know, I don't like, you know, a lot of the fatty meat. So. I
guess you don't like, you know.
I love fatty meats. I love fat.
I mean, since I had heart problems, I try to.
Okay, that's an excuse.
Watch my heart.
Okay, I don't want your heart to be broken or something like that. You know.
Oh shoot, my heart was broken long ago. But as far as still beating, I try to stay away from the pork. But and red meat. I love red meat, but I can't eat that much of it. So
I don't like to look at red meat. Makes me nauseated.
You know what? You're not the only one. There was a lady when I worked at the One Giant Eagle. She literally vomited when she was looking at. She wanted to buy steak for her husband, right? She was a vegetarian, and she literally was looking at the case, and she vomited because she saw the red meat.
Yeah, I can't tolerate it. So I don't know how I'm going to do carnivore if I don't like the red meat.
Well, you know what? Have somebody cook it for you, and have your mom cook it for you so you don't see the red meat.
Yeah.
If there's a
So,
lake, there's
are
a
you
well.
are you going on any investigations?
Yes, I have a couple coming up. I'm going to be talking with the client tomorrow on the phone. We're not going to be doing too much now, but after the new year, yes, we got like 3 or 4 set up for clients to work on. Um,
Do you find a certain time of the year that there's more like paranormal activity?
Not at all.
No.
It's basically right across the board all year round. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there isn't. A lot of people say Halloween. Nah, I've
No.
had more. I had more in April than I did in October. So. Um, but Halloween is just Halloween.
So these are people that have hauntings.
In their houses, yes, that are messing with their children and all kinds of stuff.
Did you notice that there's more with the is there older houses have more hauntings or than have you had any newer homes that have hauntings?
Um, Believe it or not, the newer houses have more hauntings, and the reason why is that whenever they build new houses on projects, um, most of the activity are usually are people who used to live on that land before the houses were built,
Oh,
especially out there in Penn Trafford.
I know. This is like our
There's
house.
there's a ton of them out there in Penn Trafford.
Did,
I
did
forget
you
them.
go to see any?
Yeah, we did. We invested about 3 or 4 houses out in Penn Trafford,
Well,
and
these recent or like a while ago?
that was about 2 3 years ago. Not too much going on out in Penn Trafford, but now. But at one point in time, yes, there was a lot of activity out there.
Because all the new homes built on the
Hmm.
farmland.
Exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. Um, I think the one house that we're going to was built in the 1800s. Um, so I'm kind of looking forward to it because I need to get back out there and do some more investigating.
Now, Sean, did you ever think of writing a book?
It's in my mind. Everyone keeps telling me to do it. My problem is that I don't know when to start. Because I tried writing a book one time, honestly, and it was 8 pages long. Because I started at the beginning, in the middle, and I said, "To hell with this! I'm going to finish it up." You know what I mean? I need somebody to sit down and actually help me write the book
You need to
because
start at a traumatic time, like a. You have to start like at a time that you were going through conflict.
okay,
And then
Start at the beginning.
that'd be 1983 to now, 1983. One show I'll share that experience with you. But so what the hell's who's beeping? Something's beeping.
it's my microphone.
Oh,
So my guest for the next show into the night, her name is Carmen. She was on our show one time, a long time ago, Jen, and her husband set up a podcast for her, and bringing her on my show, and I'm gonna let her talk about it.
I
Give her
can't
some
remember.
shine.
What was she on the show for?
Oh, this was wow. When we had a show about how PPS got started, this was a long time ago. I think this was with when we were with the other lady.
How
But
your paranormal society got started?
she was right there. She was right there when I formed it,
Oh,
and I'm giving her an hour. It's her hour. Carmen Jacobs is her name, and I think I'm going to start doing that with my show. I think I'm just going to let people give them an hour to shine. You know what I mean, and get their word out and try to help out as many people as I can this year. And I'm going to be your number one cheerleader, Jenny, in order for you to start writing that book.
both of you. I was saying, I was invited. It was the day before Yule, winter solstice, actually. I was invited by XV Planets. I would love to have them on our show.
XV.
Who are they?
I sent you the link, Jenny. They are from the South, of course. Well, they had a group of people from other places as well, but amazing group. We're trying to get all of our information together. We went to the Sally House in Atchison, Kansas, and Atchison in itself has, man, that's going to take me. I could go there and explore forever because there are so many things. There's the Mount Vernon Cemetery, which is one of the, they say that's one of the most haunted in the U.S. The Sally House. There's other.
How long ago did you send me a link?
A few minutes ago, maybe.
Oh God, I haven't gotten it.
But they, an amazing group. I learned so much. The experience was great, and so I will be, having them on my show in the new year as well, and going over a lot of that. I love our experience there, and as well as I would like to invite them on our show sometime also, because they had a lot of different. Sean, you would probably appreciate a lot of the different methods they use in investigations. Because I'm not an investigator, but as far as being around paranormal and different shows, they kind of use different methods, which I find really interesting. So I don't believe their show is going to be broadcast for a few months, and while they go through all of their findings. But it was such a great experience. So.
And what's the name of the group, hon?
XV Planis.
Okay.
That's how you pronounce it.
I'm gonna have to check them out, look them up. But I do definitely want to go to that Sally House because I did look up on it, and it sounds really, really interesting to go to. So.
And across the, Atchison, especially around Halloween and stuff, has so many different. They actually have full town tours because there's the Catholic school is up the hill from the Sally House. Actually, it was the birthplace of Amelia Earhart. They have the International Forest of Friendship there. They have numerous cemeteries, underground caves, all kinds of things that are in that town specifically.
That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to do a lot more exploring, but believe it or not, I am really, really interested in also going out and trying to find Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I had that experience down in West Virginia where I heard that loud knock on a tree and nobody was out in the woods. And I was like, oh my God, they're real. You know what I mean? So I want to do some of that and don't
What
laugh.
was it knocking sound?
It was a knock. When they hit the bat or a piece of wood against the tree, it was a loud knock, real loud. And it wasn't far from where my friend is at either. It was like, her house is here, and it was up on the hill a wee bit. I mean, that sucker was loud. But I also want to try a little bit of UFO hunting tonight, the next year. I want to explore. So, real quick, Jen, how do I do that? What do I do?
Well, I think you should join MoFont for one. Start going to the shows and the conferences, and if I think I spoke to you about getting your investigation.
Yeah, you did. That's still on.
You start to do, go out and actually go investigate.
But when there are investigations, is it not after the UFO has appeared?
What do you mean?
I mean, say like I saw a UFO, I call MUFON, then they come in and investigate?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you see them. Yeah, you if you see one, but then you can actually go when somebody else calls in and you get assigned a case. And you get to go do the investigation yourself, which is really cool.
That'd be interesting. I might tag along with somebody.
It's pretty cool. And you would tag along with somebody when you first start. I went out with John Ventry a couple times around Jeanette.
Jeanette?
Yeah.
But is it true? Or and this is something that I read. But your area isn't it like a big hotspot for a lot
Oh
of
yeah, it's a real big
cryptids,
hot. Mm-hmm. Big
cryptids and
hot.
Bigfoot? What's the
Yeah,
name
it
of that
is.
mountain range?
Uh, oh gosh, I
The
know
entire Northeast is like
Keystone. Oh, what is it called, John? Oh, come on, we know what it is. We
I
talked
know
about
what it is, but I
it. We
forgot
with
it.
Oh my god, I'm having a total brain freeze.
It's okay. It's getting late.
What's his name? He's always on our show. Stan Gordon.
Yeah.
Chestnut
Chestnut
Ridge.
Ridge, isn't it? Chestnut Ridge.
Chestnut Ridge. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of cryptids up in there. So Trish, when you come to Pennsylvania and investigate with us, we got to go up there.
So last time I was in Pennsylvania that I actually, stayed there, wasn't just driving through. I was in the Pocono Mountains.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's there's some wrong turn type stuff up there, man.
Yeah, Poconos are crazy, man. They really are.
And I don't. What year? Gosh, it had to have been like 10 years ago at least. And I vacationed there and we got lost, of course, made some type of wrong turn and literally came to armed men like barricading the road in the middle of nowhere on a dirt road somewhere.
This is in Pennsylvania.
Don't even know where we're at. Very little cell phones, coverage, things like that. And I was like, I do not stop the car. Don't, don't make eye contact. Don't ask questions. I'm like, just back it up. We're going like, there's not.
Definitely.
So
I plan on doing a lot of stuff for 2022. And I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I'll start writing that book.
Yeah.
The easiest way, which is funny because I thought about but it gave me a lot of creative inspiration when I was starting to write again, was using elementary or middle school style outlines.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done that, Jenny? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like that they use in classrooms for teaching kids how to write stories.
Oh yeah, you mean do an outline to write?
Right, but
yeah.
go back and use like the kids ones that give you kind of creative,
I never knew about doing the kids.
Yeah, well, and it was by accident that I started doing that and came across that on a program that I was using for marketing and designing graphics and stuff. And they had these children's, these like teacher templates that I was like, that's actually because it does it kind of enacts your that child in you, the creativity part of you. So it was actually really helpful.
Yeah, I should try to do that because I know I do. I use the hero's journey to write my outline, and I can't do like Lisa said that she just writes the seat of her pants. I need a roadmap.
Okay.
I just can't just start writing. I need a roadmap. But then I go off the roadmap.
Which is good, right? Which is good.
I go off and go in a different direction all the time. But I need that little bit of a roadmap to get me started because I have to have a roadmap. Like I just can't drive blind. Like I need somewhere to have a starting point and
not me, man. My mind goes all over the place.
Yeah, I can't do like that. I'm already like that in life. I need a roadmap.
I remember one story I wrote. I was in ninth grade. It was called "The Killer Tomato." Okay, it was based off the movie Jaws because Jaws came out around that time, and it was called "The Killer Tomato," where just tomatoes would start eating people.
I think my son wrote a book story like that once. Killer Tomatoes.
Let's getting close to the witching hour, ladies.
Yep. It's getting close to the witching hour. You guys have a happy new year.
You too. You as well. And we'll see you next year, everybody.
Healthy, happy new year, and have a great show tonight.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me get our
quote.
I gotta end our story. I like to do an ending, but I can never find it because there's so many on here. It's ridiculous. It's like I can't find the end. Oh, well. There's just too many to go. Too many. Can't find it. Oh, well. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. You guys have a great evening.
Good night,
Happy New
everybody.
Year.
Right.
Happy New Year.